Hi, I'm Jill. I'm a dollhouse miniaturist of 30 years, and I started this channel to show people how I meet miniature dollhouse challenges. So let's go and see what I'm up to today. So there were a lot of challenges in the studio over the last 2 days. Now, you know, if you're a machinist and you do a seam and you do a really lovely job of it, and you finish it and you look at it and you find you've sewn it inside out, you know how frustrating that is. Or if you're a knitter and you get to the last cast off row and you find you've dropped a stitch right down in the rib, well, that's pretty frustrating. Well, the electrician who was wiring up my dollhouse had a sort of day like that yesterday. He had a task to do, and that was that he had to attach a switch and a battery and 2 flickering lights in the chimney. And so his job was to wire up the switch to the battery with one set of wires, and then the other set of wires would go to the lights. So he very neatly wired the switch to the battery, and then he realized he actually should have fed the wires through into the chimney before he wired it into the battery, so he had to pull it apart. You can't really see what I'm talking about yet. So then he put the wires through, he soldered it all up, he attached all the lights, he turned on the battery, it all worked really lovely, and he was really pleased with himself, and he went off to cook dinner. And I was in the studio at the time making snowmen, so I thought, I better go and see how it went. So I come in and I look, and to my horror I realised that when I made my floor wider, I made it 1.5 inches wider, the chimney was now going to be inside the room and not outside the room, and there'd be no way we could turn the switch on because it was behind the beam. So I thought, oh dear. I very carefully deconstructed it. I drilled a couple of holes and I put the switch on the outside of the chimney, and I took the wires through to the inside, and then I went back into my studio and I thought, how am I going to tell the electrician this? And he didn't make it easy for me. He came in and he said, you know, it's really, I understand how miniaturists really enjoy their work when something really goes well. And I thought, oh dear, I'm sorry, Roger, but, and I told him. And you know, he didn't yell. I think if it was me, I would have yelled, but anyway, he didn't yell. He just said, and I said, well, I'll fix it up tomorrow because it was my job, my fault. So off he went. And in the morning I came out and I wired it all up, and I put magnets on my fireplace, and I attached all the lights so that the lights work. This light goes up to the floor fire upstairs, and this one here is working really well in my nice neat little fireplace. And then I started to do the other side, and I thought I will let Roger finish that off. So I've put the switch on the outside, and the mantelpiece is connected with magnets. I've used a bit of Meccano set there, and it just sits nicely there on top of the hearth. So I'm really pleased with that fireplace. So this floor is coming along really well. I'm really pleased with this. And then I've got to show you my snowmen. So we'll just take a little break and we'll go to the studio and I'll show you what I was doing there. So in the studio over yesterday and a bit of today, I did a very relaxing thing in contrast to the electrician, and I made some little snowmen. And for my scene, and I made a little one there, little man. I had some hats. I made a lady snowman because she had to have female representation, and along there another couple. The kids, I'll probably put some children around those, and then one up on the cottage. I found some little hats. I was really pleased, they fitted perfectly. And then one on top of the hedgehog's house. So all good fun and all part of putting my Christmas display together for the grandchildren on Christmas Eve. And you, of course. I'm doing it for you as well.